This is Scott with Level Up Tutorials, and this is going to be a quick video on how to solve a problem using images in Angular. Now, I've grabbed some profile faces from UI Faces. It's just a website that allows you to upload your own face or use faces that have been approved to be used in UI mockups or even actual websites. So these are the authorized faces. I've just grabbed the first four. You might even recognize some of these people. I know I have, but we want to be using these images for these names. So these images aren't going to line up with who these people actually are, but that's a-okay. So to get started, I have 4 images copied and pasted into my clipboard, and I'm basically going to assign an image to each one of these people. So we have Scott, age 29. We have a new property that's just going to be img, and this is going to be a string, and I'm just going to grab the first one, which is actually, yeah, it's Brad Frost. Okay, so you get their faces, or you get their name here. If you're not familiar with Brad Frost and his work, he does excellent work. Look him up. Okay, we got another one. Let's grab the next one. Okay, so we have these 4 names here, and they, like I said, they don't correlate with all the names, but that doesn't matter. Now let's head back to our HTML, and let's come to our list. So we had their name and their age. Let's go ahead and put their image in here as well. So I'm just going to make an image tag, and I have my source, and the source is going to be looking for, inside of double brackets, item.img. Okay, and now we can wrap that off just like so. And if you wanted, you could have like an alt tag with their name or something like that. But this is just fine for right now. So seeing this code, we have image src. It's grabbing the item.image to grab the string that's the image path here. What would you expect to happen? Well, if we come to our page and refresh, let me zoom in a little bit. Well, maybe not too much. But as you can see, refresh. We have faces here. It looks like I get to be Brad Frost here. So we have these 4 images are showing up just fine. So this may seem like the totally appropriate way to do images. In fact, it works, right? But let's actually check something out here. I'm gonna go into my inspect element, and let's open up our console. You can open this up just by hitting escape, and you'll notice we're getting an error. Failed to load image. And it's looking for an image at this URL path /%7b %7b item.image %7d. So this %7b is the curly bracket. We have 2 of them, and then item.image. So what's happening is our page is loading, and it's saying, hey, there's no such thing as this curly bracket.image. But then once Angular replaces that data with your actual data, then the HTML is correct and the image loads. Now obviously we're getting the images here, but I wouldn't feel great about pushing out anything that had these kind of errors that's looking for something and not being able to find them. So how do we go about fixing this? Well, luckily, Angular provides a directive to fix this as quickly as possible. Now, this is super easy, and it takes absolutely no thought. We don't have to modify this. We still have our strings here. However, we're going to be using ngSrc on an image tag instead of src for the source. Now, what we don't have to do is we don't have to define any sort of source now that we have this ngSrc. What this is going to do is it's going to wait until the JavaScript has been totally loaded before it actually looks for any sort of image, rather than looking for the image right away, right when it gets to this image tag. Okay, so with that small change, we can now come to our page, we can refresh, and we can see that we have these images next to their names, and it's just as fast, it looks just like it did before. However, we have no console error, and we have nothing in our application that's looking for something that's not there. So you could pass ngSource a string that's coming from an object. You could pass it a string in an array. You can pass it anything as long as it's a string, and this will work correctly. Okay, so this is just one more template tag that you're going to be using all the time in your Angular projects, because chances are you're going to be working with images fairly frequently, because I can't think of a lot of websites that don't work with images at all. So now that you have that tool at your fingertips, feel free to go ahead and use ngSrc anytime that you're using an image. As always, this is Scott with Level Up Tutorials. If you have any questions or comments, leave a comment in the video or hit us up at Twitter or Facebook at Level Up Tuts. We love to hear from you. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.